Coming up, climate change. What's the difference between weather and climate? And why are some storms getting stronger? We have the answers, along with what you can do to help. Then Panda-monium. 2 pandas arrive in the nation's capital to begin a new era of panda diplomacy between the U.S. and China.
I like that the pandas are coming back because I've missed the pandas. Everyone loves pandas.
We're at the Smithsonian National Zoo with details. Plus, meet Pesto the penguin. Find out what makes this not-so-little guy so special. Also, Freddy Fridays, a custodian at a school in Rhode Island, is giving these kids a reason to smile every week.
Everyone's face glows up when they hear, "Oh, it's Freddy Friday time."
And sing me a story. Students in Kansas City are harnessing the power of music to bring a special story to life.
When a community really wants to do something for someone, they will just do it.
I don't think any of us anticipated the emotional connection with Quincy and her family.
This is NBC Nightly News, Kids Edition.
Welcome back to Nightly News Kids Edition. It is great to be with you. We've got a pretty good lineup I think you're going to enjoy today, from pandas to a penguin down under. We'll also put your geography knowledge to the test in this week's pop quiz. Plus, we'll share a really touching moment actor Dwayne Johnson had with a young fan. But before we get to all of that, we want to begin with one of the stories making headlines recently. Parts of the southeast United States are still recovering from 2 powerful hurricanes that came ashore in the last couple of weeks. Students, staff, and parents helped clean up hurricane debris at several schools in Hillsborough County, Florida this week. Many schools and neighborhoods in Florida and elsewhere lost power and homes were damaged. We know this can sound awfully scary, but remember, I like to say knowledge gives us power. You probably have heard your parents or teachers talk about something called climate change. It's in the news a lot, and it got us thinking, just what is climate change and how does it affect our world? Our good friend Dylan Dreyer explains.
Scientists have been studying the Earth's climate for many, many years. Weather is temporary and always changing, like when forecasters predict temperatures, rain or snowfall, or extreme weather events like a hurricane. But climate describes the typical weather conditions for a certain region over a very long time. It has to do with patterns, trends in temperature, precipitation, and much more.
Climate change refers to changes in average conditions like temperature or rainfall over a long period of time. So often when you hear people say climate change or global warming now, they're referring to changes over the last 150 years. And we talk a lot about that time period, both because we're living in it, but also because the changes have been more rapid than what we've seen in the past.
The term climate change has been in the news, including most recently.
This system now pushing to the north, a storm surge. Again, something we're concerned about, 120-mile-per-hour winds moving northeast.
Climate change is making hurricanes stronger and wetter. Why? Well, experts say it's because of rising temperatures in the air and oceans.
What we know about climate change and hurricanes is that climate change is leading to a higher proportion of strong storms. So we're not necessarily seeing more hurricanes, but the hurricanes that are forming tend to be stronger, so more category 3 through 5. We also see a lot more rainfall associated with hurricanes. So we're getting more rainfall in each event, and that can lead to pretty severe flooding.
Scientists have observed that Earth is warming overall. Some of the warmest years on record have been in the past 20 years. This trend of warmer temperatures is called global warming. So what's causing these rising temperatures? Burning fossil fuels. One example of a fossil fuel is gasoline for cars. Deforestation, the clearing of a wide area of trees, is another reason why temperatures are heating up. Forests can absorb lots of something called carbon dioxide, then release oxygen for people to breathe. But when trees are cut down, much of that CO2 remains in the atmosphere, making things worse. Trees also provide a safe place for animals to call home. These all contribute to global warming. Global warming impacts people and animals all over the world, and if left unaddressed, could have some really serious impacts on our planet.
We're seeing changes, in average temperatures around the world. So the world, planet Earth is getting hotter on average. And with that brings a lot of other impacts. So changes in rainfall, more extreme events, changes in sea levels that impact people all around the world.
This can sound really scary, and if you're worried about climate change, here are some things you can do to help address it.
What happens in the future depends on us, and that we know what's caused climate change, we have options for the future, and some of what we know is that activities that produce less emissions will lead to less warming. So if you live in a city, things like public transportation, walking and biking, those tend to have less emissions than other ways of traveling. And wherever you live, less food waste tends to lead to less emissions. Someone once told me that science is hope. We know more about our planet now than we ever have before, and we learn more about it every day.
Taking steps to preserve our planet for years to come.
And Dylan, you have a front row seat for all this, and that's really important information. Thank you so much. Okay, time for our pop quiz. The subject this week is geography. The question, which of the following countries is not a part of North America? A, Mexico, B, Italy, or C, Canada? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Okay, time's up. The answer, it's B, Italy. Italy is a part of Europe. You can easily identify it on a map by searching for the country that looks like a high-heeled boot. That's the one. Italy is known for many things, including their deep history, amazing food, art, architecture, and a lot more. Let's turn now to our picture of the week. It's been nearly a year since the Smithsonian National Zoo said a very tearful goodbye to its last 3 resident pandas. Now, some good news. 2 giant pandas returned to Washington, D.C. this week, a place they will call home for the next 10 years. Let's get details from our pal Tom Costello.
This week, 3-year-old Bao Li and Qing Bao arrived in the United States on FedEx's Panda Express after a trans-Pacific flight all the way from China. These giant pandas will begin their 10-year stay at the Smithsonian National Zoo. It's part of a 20-year global breeding and conservation program that's helped move the species from endangered to vulnerable.
We have accomplished so much. One of our jobs was to crack the code on giant panda reproduction. If you want to save a species, you have to make more of them.
Already, excitement has been building for this new wave of Panda-mania.
They're the ones that I come to see it. I'm not a morning person, but I'll come as soon as the doors open when they're here.
And when they come, we'll be back.
For nearly a year, the popular panda exhibit, which draws close to 2 million visitors annually, has been without these cute black and white balls of fur. After the National Zoo sent home its last 3 pandas on China's request.
I like that the pandas are coming back because I've missed the pandas.
In preparation for its new residents, the zoo has been renovating its facilities to ensure a long-term and stable source of edible bamboo, with improvements like new climbing structures, rocks, hammocks, and pools.
Everyone loves pandas, and people come from all over the world to see pandas.
Bao Li and Qing Bao are the first bears China has sent to Washington in 24 years. Bao Li is the 3rd generation in his family to live at the zoo.
His grandparents came here in 2000. His mom was our only female cub born here at National Zoo.
It was 1972 when the first pandas arrived after President Nixon's historic trip to China, establishing a diplomatic breakthrough. That loan agreement expired last year amid rising tensions and concerns over whether the pandas will ever return to American soil. NBC's Janice Mackey-Freyer in Beijing.
China has a monopoly on pandas and uses the bears as a strategic tool to pursue a sort of literal soft power around the world. They're symbolic, so even though U.S.-China relations are strained, more pandas could be heading to the U.S.
Now, with this renewed panda-diplomacy in action, Bao Li and Qing Bao are set to make their public debut in D.C.
They're kind of a staple in Washington, D.C., I feel like, so we're excited to welcome them back home.
Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Very exciting. And we should note the pandas will not make their public debut until January. Why? Well, the zoo says the bears first need to be quarantined. That means kept apart for about 30 days. That's standard procedure. And then after quarantine ends, the pandas will need to settle into their new habitat before making their public debut sometime this winter. All right, in other news, I want to tell you about a new baby animal winning over fans around the world. And no, we're not talking about the baby pygmy hippo Mu Dang. Instead, say hello to Pesto the penguin. Our friend Kelly Kobiea has the story.
Move over, Mu Dang. There's a new social media king in town. Meet Pesto, nicknamed the linebacker. Pesto weighed about half a pound when he was born at the Sea Life Aquarium in Melbourne, Australia, ballooning to a whopping 49 pounds today, almost as much as his parents combined.
And he's large and brown and fluffy and becoming the largest penguin here at Sea Life Melbourne.
Pesto first went viral when his zookeepers posted this gender reveal.
He is a boy. So we've been waiting a very long time to find out Pesto's gender. And the fact that he's a boy is super exciting because our last king penguins that hatched were all female.
His massive size and charming waddle drawing fans from around the world.
Would like to see the baby.
His videos watched 1.9 billion times. Fans now flocking to see him, including pop star Katy Perry, falling for Pesto's chubby charm, singing to him, blowing bubbles, making friends. Her video alone racking up 1.5 million likes. Adult king penguins normally weigh 30 to 37 pounds, and all penguin chicks pack on the weight as protection from the freezing cold environment. Their baby feathers aren't yet waterproof. But at 49 pounds, Pesto is much bigger and taller, inheriting the big bones of his dad, the aquarium's largest male. With a massive appetite to match, gobbling down at least 25 fish a day. The tubby toddler will lose that baby fluff, but stay a big guy.
It might take you 1 to 2 months to really get rid of it. Then he'll be nice and sleek and streamlined, just like his dad you can see here.
But for now, a viral cute contest. Mu Dang, the squishy, squeezably adorable pygmy hippo, versus Pesto, the fluffy, fuzzy king penguin, both waddling their way into our hearts.
Kelly, thanks so much. And what a cutie Pesto is, right? All right, now to a story that caught our eye. Actor Dwayne Johnson is no stranger to showing his fans some love. So take a look at his latest heartwarming encounter with a young fan.
You're my biggest fan? What's your name? Marco. Marco, how you doing? Good, how about you? Good, man. I appreciate you being a fan. Where are you from? Here. Look at me out.
That's 11-year-old Marco receiving a big surprise after running into the rock while he was on a movie set. Johnson taking to Instagram to share the touching encounter, writing, "Marco, it's great to meet you, shake your hand, and give you a big hug. Thank you, big man, for being my biggest fan. P.S. Us big boys cry too." Aw, that's so great. And big thanks to our friends at the Today Show for flagging this story for us. Well, speaking of heartwarming, one elementary school custodian in Providence, Rhode Island is going the extra mile for students, treating them to a special performance at the end of every week called Freddy Fridays. Let's get details from our friend Sam Reed.
Through the doors of Vartan Gregorian Elementary School in Providence, longtime custodian Freddy Bucci is busy getting things cleaned in the cafeteria.
He goes really above his role.
Ahead of lunch.
I come in and take pride in my work.
For 25 years, he's made a home here, and quite the name for himself.
When I came to Vartan, the first person that I heard about was Mr. Freddy.
And if you're wondering why students are scurrying through the lunch line, it's because all of them are eager.
I like his Freddy Fridays a lot.
For what's to come.
Everyone's face glows up when they hear, "Oh, it's Freddy Friday time."
While kids munch away on lunch, Freddy is getting ready.
The kids definitely look forward to Friday lunchtime to see what Freddy has up his sleeve.
Because for the past 5 years, at the end of each week,
he started Freddy Fridays in first grade.
This day is dubbed Freddy Fridays.
When the t-shirts started being made, that's when I knew he was making it big.
Today we're going to start with Mr. Freddy Friday.
Using his custodial tools, he comes up with tricks.
I get the ideas in my head, what can I use, you know? 1, 2, 3.
And then he puts on a performance for both lunch periods.
And really is one big factor on why kids want to come to school, because they want to see Mr. Freddy and they want to see what the show was all about on a Friday.
Freddy, who was coincidentally born on a Friday, says waiting to clean up after kids got old.
The cafeteria gets boring. We're in here, you know, you may wait for a spill or something. So I threw a couple bags up in the air. All of a sudden, the kids got like, oh, wow.
And that's when he put things into motion. To date, he's put on well over 100 performances.
I was just like really surprised.
And they're absolutely adored by all.
To make us happy.
And does he?
Yeah, really much.
Of course, he doesn't have to do this. But Freddy says he enjoys it equally as much.
Priceless. If I can make someone else's day better, why not? I feel even better, you know?
When it's all over, it's right back to work.
How was that pizza, good?
And as the kids head to their classrooms to learn lessons from their teachers, they know there's someone special who cares equally as much.
He's not like everyone else. I think we are really lucky that we get to have him as a janitor.
Freddy's the best janitor in the whole wide world.
Sam, thanks so much. Finally, in our Inspiring Kids series, one organization is hitting all the right notes, bringing hope and smiles to one family in Kansas City. Let's get details from our good friend Kate Snow.
1, 2, ready and go.
Earlier this year, a group of students in Kansas City harnessed the power of music to bring a special story to life. Have you heard about the concert that's happening?
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Play music for me.
That's pretty special. An organization called Sing Me a Story finds kids who are in need of a boost and arranges for composers to write a special song just for them. 5-year-old Quincy was diagnosed with leukemia 2 years ago.
She was so young when she got diagnosed, and it was the worst time of our lives. And all I wanted was for her to just be on the other side of this.
As we play music, it's healing for our soul.
So Sing Me a Story stepped in. The organization asked Quincy and her big sister Josie to write their story, The Adventures of the Fitzgerald Family. Then the orchestra at North Kansas City High School turned their story into a performance. From composing the music,
Mom, Dad, Josie, Quincy, and Calvin,
to narrating the show, to choreographing dance, and even animating the girls' drawings.
It was a full sensory experience with the music being played, the story being read, the dancing, and then the animated pictures on the screen.
This very special performance touching the hearts of the students.
To see someone so young go through all this pain and stuff and then still put on a happy face and smiling every single day is really it really touched us personally and really helped us kind of reach out and collaborate even more.
I really love how we can make a story come to life for a little girl or for a little boy, for anyone who wants their story to come alive, or anyone who has a story.
Doing this gesture for this family just overall made me feel really positive and felt good about myself, and gave me a good sense of that when a community really wants to do something for someone, they will just do it.
So we just wanted to say thank you to Sing Me a Story for bringing us together.
A community coming together, providing hope for one family, and hitting all the right notes.
When I saw Quincy starting to react and look up at the screen and see all of her drawings and stuff and hear the whole story going on and the music behind it and how just excited she looked and how heartwarming her expression was, it just really made us feel really accomplished.
When we were dancing, I could tell that she was really having fun. I saw a full smile on her face, and it was so cute.
It was very rewarding to see. She was happy. I could see the twinkles in her eyes, and it was just great.
I don't think any of us anticipated the emotional connection with Quincy and her family. We're hoping that we can continue to interact with them because this journey is not over for Quincy. Her mom sent us an email the day after the concert, and she said, "Thank you so much. It was more than we could ever have imagined."
It was awesome.
All right, Kate, thanks so much. Well, that is going to do it for us parents. Just a reminder, if your child has a question about any topic in the news, email a video to us at nightlynewskids@nbcuni.com, and we'll try to answer them in an upcoming episode. You can also follow us on Instagram @NightlyKids. Thanks for watching. Remember to take care of yourself and each other. So long.